Yeah guys, this is not a Directive 8020 review. I wanted to make a video ranking all Supermassive Games titles for a long time. And finally the perfect opportunity appeared because long-awaited second season of Dark Pictures is here. Even though this time they dropped the word anthology from the title, probably they wouldn't scare off new players. So, in the next video I want to put all their games into a tier list and rank them. What they did best, what was questionable maybe, and what should not even exist at all. My socials are here, my Discord server, my Patreon and Instagram as well. I'm Marusia and this is not a Directive 8020 review. Let's start! When it comes to gameplay, at first it seems like a pretty typical cinematic horror game. So let's take a closer look at what we actually have here. Of course, there are choices. Some of them are small and basically don't affect anything, and some of them are serious. They may not always lead directly to someone's death, but they can lead to different moments and the outcomes in the game. Of course, there are QTEs. Personally, I usually like this type of QTE, and honestly, they even made them harder this time. Okay, maybe not hard, but definitely harder than in several of their previous games. One of positives I also want to mention is running. No, not running. Running! Because in all of their previous games, it either didn't exist at all, or it looked more like light jogging or something like that. I also want to praise the notes. No, not like that. The notes! You probably know that notes can be one of the most annoying things in video games. But here, I would say they made them not that annoying. There are video diaries, audio logs and regular notes. But not too many of them. And most of them are placed pretty clearly. So that's definitely a good thing. Supermassive Games did something similar in House of Ashes and Devil and Me, and I'm glad they are continuing that tradition. As for the new features, yes, there are some. First of all, there is this branch 3. What is this probably called? Something similar to what we had in Detroit Become Human. During my first playthrough, I specifically didn't look at these branches, because I wanted to fully stay in the flow of the story, you know. But on my second playthrough, it helped me check out different outcomes, and that was actually really cool. The second new thing is messages. At first, it seems like this feature itself is not nothing new for games, right? But here, besides extra dialogue, there is also a practical gameplay side of it, which I will talk about a little later. Also, surprisingly, the game actually has puzzles. Of course, nothing on the level of old Resident Evil, for example, or anything like that, but still. Here we have to make medicine from different components that needs to be decoded. Here we need to figure out a code, here we need to find a node with a code, and in this moment there is even something close to a spatial puzzle. There are also puzzles where you redirect power, although that's not really a puzzle of course, but sometimes there are little secrets hidden behind this mini puzzle. During the game, we can also find these hidden collectibles, references to other games in the series. I don't really remember this type of collectible in Dark Pictures Anthology, maybe only in the costume of Frank Stone. Now let's talk about the cons that I personally noticed. Since we are talking about gameplay, I can say that stealth didn't really work for me. It's extremely simple and often just not very interesting, because the enemies have absolutely no intelligence. They just walk back and forth on their route like dummies, and that's it. Although in the moment I was definitely a little nervous, the atmosphere itself creates that kind of suspense, you know, but anyway. And while we are on stealth, almost from the very beginning of the game, they make it clear that stealth is going to be a thing. There is a broken glasses on the floor and it's better to not step on it, otherwise the enemy will hear you and come. But in reality, this mechanic works only once, and even then it happens almost in the end of the game. So I don't know if they didn't have time to finish this mechanic properly, or if something was cut during development, but it is annoying. Now everything related to direction and staging. There is basically no staging at all. There are no interesting camera angles, no real composition either. The editing is bad, it's choppy. In fact, like in pretty much of all their games. And again, most of the exposition is either in notes or in dialogue. The actors seems to be doing fine, but the roles themselves are kind of weak. I mean, their character types should be readable, right? The only characters who are more or less clear are this rich guy who kept saying that he bought his place on the crew, how amazing he is, how he wrote the book, and so on. This girl is constantly trying to joke, okay. Maybe also this guy who talked about religion a couple of times. And maybe these two characters, but mostly because they have some kind of backstory in the flashbacks. Everyone else felt kind of unclear to me. I could maybe also count the repetitive location as a disadvantage, but to be honest, that's pretty typical for the series in general. So I listed what the game has, but I haven't said what it doesn't have. First, it doesn't have curator. He is kind of there, but also kind of not. Basically, during your first playthrough, you need to find a special coin, and this happens near the very end of the game. Then the curator starts appearing for a couple of seconds in random places. On my second playthrough, he appeared from the very beginning of the game, but still it's not the same. I want proper scenes with him, like before. Second, there are no dark pictures. The actual pictures are gone. The paintings that let us took into the future. I know some people say this feature was completely useless, but I liked it. Third, remember in the Until Dawn there was that gameplay mechanic where you had to keep the controller completely still. Or in the Dark Pictures anthology where you had to press buttons in rhythm. Well, here there is nothing like that. As I already said, the stealth is basically just hiding from the enemy. I understand that they probably can't use the system from Until Dawn, because I suspect that technology belongs to Sony. Just like the Until Dawn franchise itself, by the way. I touch on this topic a little in this video. Please watch my state of play reaction after this one, I would really appreciate it. And I will try to talk about this in a bit more detail in the next video, where I rank all Supermassive Games titles. But why they couldn't add at least the rhythm button pressing mechanic? I genuinely don't understand it. Of course, it's good that they're trying to make their games more varied and more move away from their own old ideas, but so far the result feels a little strange. Now let's quickly go through the story. The narrative is divided into chapters, and after each chapter there are really cool songs. I even added some of them to my playlist. They are really well chosen. I probably can't show them here because of copyright, but this is definitely a positive stuff. Story-wise, everything here is pretty classic for a space horror, but it still sounds interesting. We have the spaceship Cassiopeia, which is flying to the planet Tau Ceti F, because Earth is not exactly doing great and humanity needs to a new home. But of course, the mission doesn't go according to plan. After an accident, the crew encounters something alien. And the worst part is that this thing can pretend to be a human. So the game is not only about being afraid of the monster, but also about constant distrust within the team. Who is real, who isn't, and can you trust anyone at all? As the story develops, we get this whole I don't trust you, no I don't trust you, where were you situations. Everyone suspects everyone. But let's be honest guys, all of this could have been avoided if they had followed one simple rule. If someone is acting suspicious, maybe don't get too close. Misfits already taught us that.
We should set up a password that we can say to each other so we know it's us.
Monkey slut.
We're not having monkey slut as a password.
What are the chances of that being used in a normal conversation? Kinda low, no?
I'll just go with it. Monkey slut.
Near the end of the game, we learn the main twist. I'm not going to spoil it for you, of course, but I will say this. Overall, I like the plot twist. I also promised to tell you about the second function of the messages. So, near the end of the game, there is a moment where I get a message from a known contact. This contact say that they are the person I'm looking for. And in the story, we really are looking for someone who got separated from the group. And here, another layer of distrust appears. It's not only visual anymore, where we look at the character and wonder, is this real them or it's a mimic? Now it's also about feeling and intuition. During my playthrough, I found this moment fun and interesting. In a way, it felt fresh. It's also cool that after finishing the game, you unlock costumes of characters from the other parts of the anthology. Oh, and by the way, they showed us a teaser for the next game. Let's check it out.
It begins with noises, footsteps, knocking. Stage 2 is movement, objects moving of their own accord. At stage 3, the phenomenon becomes destructive. The presence wishes to be heard, which leads us to stage 4, communication.
It looks intriguing, I guess. I wonder if it's going to be something like a documentary or mockumentary. So, I talked about pros and cons of the title, right? Overall, it's a regular Supermassive Games title. Still worse than Until Dawn, and still better than Man of Medan. But there is one big but. Look at the price. $50. None of their games that came out on PC cost this much. Maybe this is because they don't have a publisher now, but still, $50 is too much. Guys, while I was making this video, the Steam Summer Sale started, so you can buy the game with a 20% discount. Personally, I was waiting for this game, you know? I wasn't expecting or hoping for some huge breakthrough or innovation. I recommend this game only if you are a fan of the series, and even then only on a sale, you know? So yeah, this was my thoughts about Directive 8020. Thank you so much for watching till the end, I genuinely appreciate it. Please drop a like on this video and subscribe. You can also leave a comment, it really helps the channel grow. Just one like and I will release the second video where I rank all Supermassive Games titles. Here you can find my Discord server where I post updates and chat with you. Here's my Patreon where the subscription costs only $1, and here my Instagram. See you very soon. Bye!
I promise you, all will become clearer in time. For now, I'm afraid you must remain in the dark. I can guarantee there's more to come.